Welcome to another episode of the Pencil Pushers Project. This is episode 34. I am one half of the team, Jay. And as you see, we are in some new conditions, new locations. And we don't know what that's going to lead to today, but we're transitioning. I am joined by a good guy here, Zay.
Hello.
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Yo, you know what's crazy? So I walked at the gym the other day.
Here we go.
And I saw this. It's this big Iranian dude. Like he's fat. But he's really, really fat. Like really fat, bro. But he always, he seemed like a nice guy, man. He walked up to me and he said something people have never said to me. Hello. He was like, hello. And I was like, hello? Like, who says that?
Oh, people don't speak to you no more?
No, but people normally say, like, how you doing? Stuff like that. When the last time you had somebody walk up to you and just say hello?
Just say hi?
No, he didn't say hi. He said hello.
To be honest, I wouldn't have noticed enough to.
Well, now I find myself saying hello that every time I walk into a store, when they greet you, I'll be like, hello. And I'll be like, what the fuck?
I just do like a head nod.
You do the head nod?
Yeah. But apparently I do the white version where I go down.
You go all the way down?
No, just
Oh, you don't do this?
Yeah, that's like, I don't vary between
it depends.
ethnicities.
I switch it up sometimes. You don't switch up the head nod?
Nah, just the down is always, seems more formal, I guess.
I go like that. I go like that. Sometimes I just look at you.
What if you're approaching a black gentleman followed by a white gentleman? Do you you got yourself in the pickle there, buddy? What do you do? How do you sort that out?
Huh? I guess you hit them both with this, and hope the white guy catch it.
Hey, I saw that. Nigger, I saw that. Yo, this is gonna be a fantastic episode. All right, so. You moved, man.
I did. And I'm 26 now.
Yes, sir. Oh,
I'm 26 now.
Yes, to the fans of the show or listeners to the show, the brother Zay here turned 26 on the 4th. There was a gathering that was initially unbeknownst to you, but then became when did it become beknownst, or did it become beknownst?
It never became beknownst.
So okay, so. You had a gathering at your parents' place. It's my first time meeting your parents.
How was that?
It was cool. Your mom was like, "I feel like I know you already." yeah, you might have seen me on a podcast with your son. But no, man, your folks are great, man. Your family is great, man. It was a good time, and your dad's funny. He was putting together a fire pit. Kind of, and then me and Jamel got there. He was, oh, thank God, y'all are here.
Thank God, y'all.
No, he was like, man, these screws don't fit, man. And then we was like, wait a minute, the screws do fit. Like, well, y'all got it now, so. Then he walked off. So me and Jamel are putting together the fire pit, man. It was funny, man. But so yeah, man, like it was cool to meet your folks, and it was a good time. So then the move, how's that been going for you?
It's been busy, man. I got a lot more stuff than I used to. Like when you don't think you got that much,
and then you start,
and then you actually start going through your stuff, and you like, why I got this?
Hey, you ever be like, yo, why do I have like so much silverware? It's just
I think I found like a bunch of this stuff I don't look at no more, and I'm like, why is this here? What did I find? Did I find anything weird? I found 2 air mattresses. Oh. I'm like, where do these come from?
I can't explain this. Did you keep them? Did you throw them out?
Well, they were in my storage closet on the balcony, so there were like cockroaches in them.
Oh.
And I was like, oh yeah, these gotta go.
No 10-second rule there. I was just like,
the moment I saw like 3 cockroaches crawl out, I'm like,
the third one was like, okay, yeah.
I let it go for the first 2.
Yeah, the
first 2, I was like, I let it cook, whatever. Then that third one, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going.
All right, I get it. All right, enough.
I get the point.
Yeah, man. So,
you earned a nickname.
Oh, I had a couple actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did give you a couple.
Your dad called me vegan man. in reference to the stuff I couldn't eat there. Like your mom had some shrimp and grits there. She had some chicken and waffles that were there, and a nice little cool little cup set up.
What'd you eat? You ate the asparagus, right?
I had the potatoes and the asparagus. So it was like one of those things where she was like, I was like, I can't eat any of this. And she was like, okay, there's another room for you, boy. So it was another room where she had some other food, and she was like, can you eat potatoes? I was like, yeah, I can eat potatoes. And she's like, what about the asparagus? I was like, yeah, I could do that. So I mean, it was good, you know. I'm honestly used to that. Like when I go to a place, and it's like, all right, you can't eat a certain thing. So I usually like eat before I get there.
Yeah.
In preparation.
Yeah.
For like the reveal of like, I don't eat meat, and they're like, oh,
blasphemy!
Heresy!
Who invited you?
Exactly. Like you're friends with my son? No. So yeah, but I'm used to it. So it, you know, I don't. People usually feel bad though. It's like, I would have made you something if I didn't know, you know. But like your mom tried to get on you. He's like, how was I supposed to know? I thought that was funny, but I'm used to that, so it don't bother me because like I said, I prepare for it, and sometimes people may have, we got one thing here,
yeah,
so, you know, it panned out, and then I don't remember the girl's name, the podcast guy, Dewana, yeah. So I was same thing. Oh, podcast guy can't eat that.
Yeah, they were like, yo, y'all want some cake? And then she said. You were like, I can't eat that. They were like, podcast guy can't eat cake.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny. But you know, all in all, man, I had a good time. It was cool. So did a little shameless plugging of the pod.
Oh yeah, I had to. I had to do it for one time on the birthday.
Yeah, man. So, first things first, I guess we can get into the episode. So it seems like but whenever we're about to start recording, like some terrible news happens.
Yeah. So,
I mean, death in any form is not great news, but we'll start with the more popular individual, Alex Trebek, who was battling with pancreatic cancer, I believe.
Yeah.
So we got news today. For the listeners, this is Sunday that we're recording. So we got news today that he actually passed away from his battle with pancreatic cancer. So, I mean, if you know anything about Alex Trebek in Jeopardy, then there's not really much that needs to be said. I mean, he's been a staple in most households for decades, hosting that show.
I didn't know he was 80.
I knew he was older. I didn't know exactly the age he was, but I knew he was up there. Cause like I said, I know he's been doing Jeopardy forever, as far as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Him and you know, there's Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Like, you know, if you know Pat Sajak, you know Alex Trebek, because in most cases, those shows I remember seeing one, and then right after one, the other one would come on. So, you know, growing up, there was Wheel of Fortune, then there was Jeopardy. And I always imagined myself being on both of those shows as I got older. Probably more so Wheel of Fortune because it just looked more exciting with the wheel. But even like Jeopardy, you know, I mean, you see SNL has the Black Jeopardy skits. I mean, you've seen shows that have done Jeopardy. Like I said, there's not really much to say about the show. I mean, and his tenure in it, he's iconic individual. And you know, when he announced it, you know, it was devastating for a lot of people. And there's one clip that comes to mind. It was a Final Jeopardy, and one of the contestants I don't even remember what the question was, but the answer he wrote is, "What is We Love You, Alex?" And Alex read it, and you know, you could tell his voice started cracking a little bit. And you know, the guy, I think he had like $2,000, and he wagered like $19.95 of it, so he's left like $5. But the gesture was the main point.
Yeah, that was the main thing.
You know, so there was a lot of outpouring of love and support for him. So, you know, cancer, it takes no prisoners, man. I mean, we just talked about Chadwick Boseman succumbing to it on in August, and you know, now we have this situation with Alex Trebek. So, like I said, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family. And just a sad sad. Like I said, man, it seems like we always just seem to wake up, or not wake up, but come into a podcast with some type of, devastating news like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's and it all it happened today.
Yeah.
Today, literally, like right before he was out there record. Just
Yeah.
when you send a message, and it's always sad when stuff like that happens, especially when you got to come in and talk. And we already, we did have 2 major deaths this week. So I don't know, and it's been a crazy week, man. Between the election, all that, it's been a while.
Stressful, man. Just a lot of high stress. Of course, we'll get into the election stuff as well, but excuse me. So prior to Alex Trebek's news, there was news of a young Chicago rapper by the name of King Von, who passed away here in Atlanta after dying from a basically a gunshot wound. But I just really started getting to know him and his music, and it just kind of seems like that for almost the same way as Pop Smoke. And I knew a little bit about Pop Smoke before he passed, but kind of the same thing. Like, this dude is just starting to get his name out. I'm really starting to see him like King Von. I start hearing his name a lot more.
Yeah.
And, by the time I really am aware of who he is, this happens. You know what I'm saying?
And he just dropped his album. He had an album come out last week, I think.
That's what I said. It feels like he just dropped something, like a project not long ago, for sure.
Because I know he was doing. I think he was on like a promotional run, going hitting clubs and performing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's all. I already told you, like, it's always weird because all these dudes be the same age as me. It's so crazy, like,
right.
when stuff like this happens. So, and it's the fact that it happened in Atlanta, and it's not like, that's our own backyard. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man.
What do you? One thing I've been seeing like a lot is a lot of people been saying live by the gun, die by the gun. I don't know if you've been seeing that lately.
I can't say that I've seen that lately, but I mean,
not lately, but
just over
death.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I the way I feel about death is just a little. I'm not gonna say different, but I just, it's something that I definitely don't play with.
Yeah.
I don't speak ill of people in a way, like, I don't wish death on people. I don't, those types of things that I think are things that I take seriously.
Yeah.
Now, again, full disclaimer, I'm not super familiar with his music, but from what I have heard, there are some contents of his music that have him speaking about people who have deceased and died, maybe people he's had issues with, and if that is to be true, I think there is a danger in that. You got to be careful of speaking ill of people who are dead. You got to understand, like, that type of energy is, that's gonna hover around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for some reason, I don't know when this became a thing of, like, there's one thing to say, okay, these rappers, they talk about their environment, they talk about where they came from, they talk about what they had to experience to survive. So, okay, that's one thing. Excuse me. I'll grant you that. But to take the conscious thought of speaking ill of somebody who you may have had beef with, now that they're gone, and put that in music, it's kind of in a way, you have to be careful with that, because in my opinion, you are kind of inciting and antagonizing that person's family, that person's people that they care about.
Yep.
And like I said, and even if the result is not connected to that specific group that you're talking about, that energy carries with you. So when you go out of town to a different city and you have an altercation with somebody and things happen, that energy is very dangerous. So, I feel like if I have beef with anybody, once they die, that beef is over with.
Yeah. And from what I'm understanding, it was just a street fight, and then somebody just grabbed a gun and started shooting. And I think that's like anyone, and I'm glad they caught that guy, because honestly, I feel like anyone who starts shooting at a street fight, throw their ass in jail, because it's a street fight, man.
Right.
Like, you know, some even if it was just a fight and then everybody went home, which is what it should have been. Even though I don't think there should have been any stat to begin with, but if there is, I mean, if y'all get into a fight, get into your fight, go home, call it even. Like,
well,
and I know tensions are high, and so I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a closed shut case, because I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all been in weird situations where, you know, stuff like that happens, but I don't think anyone needed to die in this case, and I think that's the thing.
You know, maybe because I'm a little bit older. Like I said, he was 20. You said he was 26.
He was 26,
and my mentality was different as a younger person and how I dealt with conflict. But I think there is something that, you know, and I'm just gonna say this, as Black men, there is something that we have to address in how we handle conflict with each other. At the end of the day, in my brain, there's very few situations that require taking of somebody's life. And there are far more situations that a conversation can fix. Even if we don't have to be best of buddies, we don't have to be hanging out, but we can just have a mutual understanding. Hey man, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. You know, we could exist in separate spaces, but just have a mutual understanding. But that requires a ego check that unfortunately a lot of us are not willing to relinquish because it's seen as weak. So at the end of the day, is your ego worth the life of somebody that you care about or yourself? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think those are things that we have to examine. You know, I've had situations where I've had a shoe stepped on, and in situations in my younger time, that would be an altercation from that.
Yeah.
You know, but as I get older, it's like, it's just a shoe. You know, wipe the shoe. It's not that big of a deal. Or it's an honest accident.
Yeah.
If someone makes a mistake or someone has an accident and someone says, "Hey bro, my bad," I accept that.
Yeah.
I accept that and I move on. There's no need to go further beyond that. And hey bro, you know what I'm saying? Because once it escalates, there's like that pressure to, now you can't back down. So once it escalates, it's even harder for a person to try to diffuse it, because then they're seen as being bitched or being, you know, as being punked or whatever. But and like you said, I think the days of fist fighting, to me, are kind of long and they're dead.
Yeah.
They pulling guns out now. So for me, we don't even get to the step of, you know, having a fist fight.
Yeah.
It's just it's a talk, and then it's guns drawn. So that's why, to me, it before, you know, a time ago, I probably would have said what you said. Hey, let's just fight it out, shoot the fair one, and go about your business. Those days is done. You know, so now for me, it's like, let's have a conversation before somebody die.
Unnecessarily at that.
Yes, exactly.
And because that's the thing. It's all unnecessary.
It's not needed. It's not anything that, you know, this young dude is coming up. He's in a position to where he can provide for himself. He can provide for his family. I'm sure when he's the one that's making the most of the money, he's taking care of a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And if, you know, the other dude, Quando Rondo, I don't know much about him, but I feel like he's maybe in a similar situation. Hey, bro,
it's alleged. I don't want to.
Well, I'm just speaking about.
Yeah. What you're saying?
I'm just saying based off of the information that. I mean, of course, I wasn't there, but I guess I'm really just broadening it. Forget them. Just in a broad conversation about how men deal with conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And there are far more situations, and I don't care what anybody says, there are far more situations when a gun didn't have to be pulled out. A conversation could have been had, and we could have went our separate ways.
Y'all could have been in the same club and just acted like y'all didn't exist. Like
exactly. You go to
that's it.
You say, hey man, you have whoever in the middle. We go to our side of the club. Y'all go to your side of the club. We don't have to. You don't have to go that way.
Yep.
You know, and it just, you know, it's not to me. It's what's the exchange? So now you got, I believe 2 people who are dead.
Mm-hmm.
A person who's been arrested, and I'm pretty sure will be in jail.
Yep.
So that's a minimum of 3 lives right there that are ruined for what? Because I promise you, when you really get to what the root of the disagreement was about, it probably was some bullshit. It probably was some bullshit.
And I think that's the worst part is it's not like these dudes owed each other money. I guarantee you, nobody owed nobody money. Nobody tried to like go after somebody's family. This is probably just a one-off thing,
right?
Where everybody could have just walked away.
You know, and I think, in my opinion, there has to be a certain point to where we can't just say, "Yo, this is just the cost of doing business. This is the life of a rapper."
Yeah.
You know, because there's nothing that should be normal about a young person losing their life. 26 years old. Pop Smoke was 20. You know, like these, and again, situations that did not need to transpire and did not need to take place. So, you know, I really hope that one of the things I think needs to happen as well, and it may be happening to an extent, but when you see these rappers making these comments on Twitter or speaking things about certain things in their music, I think there has to be an older person, and not to say that the result may change, but just the attempt of an older person, maybe an older person who rapped, who's done that, who's lived that life, who can say, "Hey, bro, like it ain't worth it, man. Just let that go." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Right now, we're talking about an opportunity for you to feed your family. You can make money making your music. You know, there's no need to jeopardize that. There's no need to put that at risk over some nonsense.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like we've seen rappers out of Chicago who were doing the same thing, and then they put it all behind them. Like, you know, people don't talk about Lil Bibby no more, but Lil Bibby at UCLA. Yeah, I'm not saying King Von has to go to college. I'm just saying, I
understand what you're saying.
When you hit a certain point, you have to move differently. Cause, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna sit here. I never listened to either one of them, but I will say I've heard both of their names. They're not names I've never heard, and I'm aware that they make music. I'm aware that they have a following. So y'all are both in a position to do major things, and now you just ended someone's life, and not to mention, if it turns out Quando Rondo's crew was there and it turns out Quando Rondo was involved, you might have potentially just ruined your career at the same time.
Right.
And it was all for what?
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue with it. It's just like we've seen this too many times. Even amongst just not even just rappers, just regular people.
Right.
Where a whole situation could just get ended off of a simple, yo.
I think what happens is when these arguments come up, I think the pushback comes from the fact that they try to conflate 2 different things. And what I mean by that is when this situation like this happens, people will try to tie in a cop didn't kill him, so I guess no one's going to care. So then people get turned off to having a discussion about how we need to treat each other and how we need to really hold each other accountable for certain things. So, you know, I try my best to isolate this conversation to, you know, and like I said before, you know, there is certain things that a child's upbringing and the things they've been exposed to and the things they've been around as growing up can have an impact on their lives, which in turn will have an impact on the type of music that they put out. That's one thing. Literally antagonizing someone by calling out their dead relatives or their dead friends on a song, you cannot tell me that you're not asking for some type of retaliation from that.
I agree.
That is not I grew up in a certain environment. That you're literally, like I said, that there is power in the tongue, and speaking those certain things is, you know, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing, and I hear this argument about, well, in movies and TV, they have violence and shooting, and in video games, they have. I don't see video game developers like going to the like releases of games and like fighting each other. Like I don't see movie releases where the actors are starting to like get into fights because of a scene of violence.
Yeah.
So that's art imitating life, but the difference in our culture is that there is not a separation of the two. It's costing us young men that don't need to die. So that is why we have to have it a little bit more serious approach to how we handle it. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to see a young person die who is in a position to do things for their family. Like I said, once you start, the goal is, look, you come up from a tough, harsh situation, and once you get out, then you want to be out.
Yeah.
The longer you're out, the more money you can make. The more money
That's
you can
true.
make, the more you can help your family. The more you can help your family, the more they can help themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then in turn help their family. Because people don't look at the flip side of that. What's the flip side of a person who's been having long-term success and hasn't lost their life? They've been able to say that they've been able to help their family tenfold, putting their nieces and nephews through college, putting their kids through college.
Yeah.
Because of the other side of the coin. So that's all we really want. No one will disagree with that, but we have to think about what good comes of a person who's able to have longevity just by simply staying alive.
Yeah.
And making music to be able to turn their lives around. And it's one thing I do love to see are, younger people as they get older, their music starts to reflect that. Even their mindset starts to reflect how they are able to mature. I see NLE Chopper, and we've talked about his music before. We talked about his stuff before.
Yeah.
And I've seen in recent his conversation that he's having, I'm seeing a transition with him. But I'm gonna be honest with you, one of the things that I'm afraid of is that he's gonna die, right, as he's making that transition in his life. Because
that's the issue. We should be having those fears. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know whether that's just like the time we live in type thing, or maybe because I do believe that one thing I do believe is that you are who you hang around. Because what it always seems like to me with a lot of these types of situations is it's not the rapper. It's normally somebody who he was with,
right,
who got into it, and now the rapper's involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like, I think people need to start, especially when you hit a certain status, you got to understand that a certain status, a certain success level, you can't bring everybody. You can't bring everybody with you. And
yeah. And that's why I said there's mentorship, because it's tough to ask a 20-year-old to get rid of his friends. Or a younger person to get rid of his friends.
Well, you ain't even got to get rid of.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is anything that gets looked at as separating, the friend will look at as getting rid of.
Yeah, I guess it's just, and maybe it's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm 26, so I'm not gonna say everything like I'm some OG or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where I do understand that, you can try to bring them. Sure, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, I got us. Just don't act stupid. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I require of you. Yeah. And wherever I go, you go. I get a car, you'll get a car, whatever. I got you. But, if they don't get that, then I feel like that's when your maturity level has to kick in. That's when because mentorship is only going to do so much for you. Eventually, you got to understand. And the thing is, King Von had a mentor. He had Lil Durk. Lil Durk is literally on the cusp of he's already a breakout star, but right, he's about to definitely get bigger.
Right.
And it's one of those things where you had guidance.
Well,
And I'm not sitting here saying it's King Von's fault by any means. I don't know what happened.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Because I don't want to speak about that.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not saying it's his fault or nothing. I'm just saying. But this is beyond King Von.
Yeah, I got you.
This is just a general thing.
Understood. I got you. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with and I think it's some of everything. Like I don't think either one of us are wrong. I think we're both kind of saying the same thing. It's just our culture. I just see that we suffer the most from it. We don't own any of it.
Yeah.
Like it's right now, whoever is the top, whatever label that Dirk is under, like the parent label,
they're about to.
It's a good day for them right now.
Yeah.
So
it's a great day for them.
That's to me, that's another thing that I look at as well. Now we're gonna see a label of white dudes who probably they probably haven't even contacted that man's family. Hey, sorry about your loss. None of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They probably haven't offered to pay for no funeral. They probably haven't offered. They just, hey, stream's finna go up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just we're risking the most, and we're getting the least reward, man. And that's what bothers me, man. So that's why I can't get. I think, and a lot of young people now, I really do think that a lot of people are. The way they look at artists is almost like disposable cameras. They love an artist. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people who are like really, really great fans of the artist, but once an artist dies, there's a lot of people who's like, all right, well, moving on.
Who's next?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just that, man. But it's still at the end of the day, and we all make terrible decisions. We all make bad decisions. So I'm not here to cast judgment on anybody because I look, I don't speak from any high horse or holier than thou position. I just want people to live, man. I just want people to live. And I really think that we have to examine how we handle conflict with each other, because if we just knew how to have conversations and just set egos to the side and come to an understanding, like I said, it doesn't have to be like best buddy stuff, but just come to some sort of mutual understanding, or if you want to call it a truce or whatever. Even if you have static with somebody and y'all are in the same vicinity, a temporary or a truce or something where it's like, hey man, you leave us alone, we leave y'all alone. Something to where everyone can go home that night. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's always best. I'd rather just not deal with you, period, versus, stuff like this. You walk over, you say, look, you over there, I'm over here. Both here to have a good time. That's it.
Hey, man, we're not trying to start nothing, bro.
We're not here. We're not here for anything.
You understand? Y'all are celebrating with y'all people. We celebrate with our people. And, that could be an option. Another option, and I think you may have touched on it, is leave the environment. If you know that there's someone there that you have static with, hey, bro, let's get up out of here, man. There's plenty of lounges here to have a good time. There's plenty of places here to have a great time, or anywhere really. There's lounges, there's clubs, there's bars. If you know there's static there, what's the exchange? You guys go to a different club. The very worst they'll say is, oh, they saw if they left. But like I said, no one's getting buried. There's no coroner. There's nobody. Exactly. There's nobody that's identifying no bodies.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know. I hate that we hit this point in time where this is just so commonplace now. Like, I really feel like this is just commonplace.
It is, man. And like I said, man, there's a lot more good that we can do for each other above ground, especially, hip hop being the biggest genre in the world. And like I said, a lot of young people are getting into it and they're getting success from it. And there's no reason that we can't all come together on this thing and everybody make money, everybody get bread, everybody take care of their families, because that's part of the generational wealth aspect of it too, that people speak about as far as coming out of situations. And, these guys are getting money, and, we talk about bad deals that they make or bad financial decisions. Okay, that's one thing we can address a different day, but we can't do nothing. We can't do nothing to change it if they're in the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I pretty much. I mean, is there anything else on that topic you want to hit on?
I think.
Yeah, it's.
I think we
Yeah, man, because it's yeah, man, it really saddens me, man. So I don't want to really. I mean, I think we've kind of hit it pretty succinctly here. Any music you've been listening to? Not really.
I listened to Nav's project, but I saw that, man, I still haven't listened to JID and Conway single. Did you see that?
I saw him release, JID release something, like a freestyle or something, but I didn't hear nothing about it.
He dropped a song with Conway.
See, I didn't hear nothing about that. I just got around to finish it from last week. I finished the Busta Rhymes album. It's pretty good. I'm not really going to do no hardcore reviews, to be honest with you guys, because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, but the Busta Rhymes album, which, by the way, he released it like a deluxe album. He just called it Reloaded, but it's deluxe with like 4 more songs of an already long project.
Wait, he dropped a deluxe?
Yeah, man. Can y'all end this in 2020?
This gotta stop.
This gotta. Please stop this, man. Yeah, man. It's a good project, man. It's you know, like I said, it's a blend of the front half of the album is more of like a nostalgic feel, and as you graduate into like the latter half of the album, a lot of the sounds and the production is a little bit more modern and current. The song with Kendrick's good. The song with Rick Ross, what was it? Far Muhammad.
Crazy.
That shit is hard, man. Man, Rick Ross's features been kind of.
He be smoking his features.
The last few features I can remember him, the Benny feature, the T.I. feature. Ross been cooking, man.
Ross be getting off, man. Was it like one of those elegant sounding tracks?
Ain't really no drums on it. It's like it's just like a soulful loop.
You get Rick Ross a soulful loop or an orchestra?
Yeah, bro.
You about to get it.
Yeah, man.
That's the one thing I always like the Rick Ross music, the orchestra.
He just that's one thing that I think that really separated him from just simply being like a Southern rapper is because you know he's from Miami, and the thing that really always separated him. I was listening to the Maybach Musics the other day, and I will stand on this. Maybach Music 4 is the best one, but we can have that debate.
Who's in that one?
Him and Neo, mostly him, but the first 10 seconds with the little guitar riff in the beginning, you already know it's going to be some.
What's the second best? I still think 1. I think 1 is up there.
2 is up there, the one with T-Pain and Wayne and Kanye. I think that's probably like the second. 1 and 2 is probably interchangeable. As far as
one is really good.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's verse in that was crazy.
Yeah, like the second one and the first one are interchangeable. Let's see. After that, I would say 3 is good with Kiss and T.I.
Okay.
And then I really didn't care for, honestly, the one with Dej Loaf, I didn't care for that one. I forgot she was on that one. I was talking about Dej Loaf, and I was like, dang, she was on the Maybach Music. She's in some esteemed company. And then the one with Wayne and / Pusha T. But / Pusha T. But
they never put that verse back on there.
Nah.
Officially, but it's on the internet.
No, yeah, the streets got it. Yeah, the streets got a hold of it. But yeah, man. Yeah, Ross been doing his thing, man. But I listened to the Busta Rhymes album is pretty good. Omarion snuck out a project. I didn't know. Kinection, it's called.
I didn't know.
I will say this: the first half of the album is really, really good. Sonically, it is all over the place, but for the first half of the album, it kind of works. It kind of just shows you like he got like a dance hall. Like, the first song is like this dance hall vibe that's like really fire. The second song is like almost like a R&B, like almost like trap drums type of thing. Okay, that's a little bit more modern and it's hard. And then the third song with him and Wale is more like your a little slower, like mid-tempo R&B. You know, you remember the song Entourage that he did? Yeah. It kind of sounds like Entourage, except like it's a little bit slower and like it's a little, but it's a cool little vibe. He has an old song with Ghostface Killer he put on there at the very end. I like that song but it's like I think it's like 4 years old. Cause I remember that song being out.
Does it sound dated?
No. Do you know? What's the producer's name? Knowledge. You familiar with Knowledge?
Is there like an X in the name or something? Okay, yeah.
He did the beat. So think of like if you know like Knowledge's production. Honestly, it don't really in comparison to like a Alchemist type of sounding beat or something like that. It don't really sound dated, but I think he did make a reference to Maybach O. So
okay.
Remember they had that press conference for him, bro? People disrespect Omarion. Yeah. Niggas want to get hey what? Hey, why did they get a press conference, bro? That's what I do know.
Nah, Omarion real.
One thing you can count on about Omarion is every once in a while, and as of late, he's kind of really just kind of been in his own world, but he'll give you a slapper. A few years ago, it was supposed to be. You know, I love the CP4, the care packages that he was doing.
I didn't listen to those.
Yeah, those are pretty fire. What's the song he had on the Maybach shit? MIA?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, MIA is hard. And then of course, I think my favorite Omarion song is probably Touch. But Icebox is up there too.
Icebox was hard.
Yeah. But yeah, it's almost, you know, it's almost, I forget that he's been in music for so long.
Well over a decade.
Almost 20 years. Like, you know, remember,
it's almost been, damn.
Like, you know, remember the B2K days too.
Oh,
so like,
yeah, B2K.
Yeah. So, and he had a song on there called, now that is the one song on there that confused the shit out of me. He had the song called B2K Experience on there. And it's just him. Number one, and number two is just very much. It sounds like something they would come out with, like you know when they did like the Millennium Tour.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you like it sounds like something that they would play like before, like the first song of the tour. It just sounds really weird. It's not really there's not much of a hook or anything. It's just him saying like their names throughout the song, and then his B2K Experience, and he has like a couple lines, but it was confusing. But
that's because they knew he was that nigga.
And if people were alluding to the fact that he was being petty, saying like, "Yo, nigga, y'all could have been on this bitch, but you slept with my baby mama. Number one, you other niggas, let it happen." So I don't know, man, but yeah, I would say like the first 4 songs are like really really good. The 5 songs, but. Like I said, it just shows. Like I said, he's got the versatility. He can do the dancehall shit. He can do the, you know, up to date shit. He can do like your traditional R&B type of vibe. So, what else did I listen to? I think that was kind of it. Oh no, I listened to the NLE Chopper, Light to Dark.
How was that? Did he talk about something different?
Oh, he fooled you. The first song he did. He was on that like he was on that. No. It's a lot more balanced. It's a lot more like there are some songs where he's talking that shit, but there are, you know, a lot of you could tell there's a change in his content a little bit. The first song he's really like in that zone of like meditating and I've been, you know, keeping my mind right and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And his music in the project, it's a lot less violent. I mean, he still talks about some things, but it's a lot more just, I guess he's trying to really show his transition as just where his mind's at. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like the thing with young people is there's always a point where they just start thinking and they kind of know in their heart, like, you know, man, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to have to live. You want to rap and make money, but you know, watching your back and stuff like that. And you know, it's just who wants to live like that, man? I mean, if you look at the more I think about it, bro, like I can't really think of a rapper who ain't been shot at or shot at. I mean, you got Wayne, you got Ross. I mean, obviously you got 50 Cent. You got, you know. I mean, they shot at Wayne's tour bus and shit like that, and
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
I mean, maybe Kendrick. or maybe.
Kendrick got shot.
Oh,
Pre rap.
so I mean, like, but even like their music, you know what I'm saying? And Drake, I guess. No, well, no, he got shot in the wheelchair.
Nah, didn't he rap about getting shot at?
In the wheelchair.
In the he rapped about getting shot at in the From Florida with Love song.
Oh,
but I guess nobody knew about it.
I thought he was just referencing Degrassi when he that boy put one in his lower back. But you know, like, just, I mean, like I said, man, it's but going back to NLE, it's pretty enjoyable, man. Like it's I mean, I heard all this shit in the gym, so like I said, sorry folks, I don't have a deep rundown of the project song by song, but from the previous project that we reviewed to this project, the content of his songs, there's definitely more of a balance.
Is this a mixtape or a EP? What is
maybe
it?
I mean,
or is this I'm changed? Here's some new songs that should
I think it's probably just like a mixtape of some sort. It don't. I mean, it kind of. I don't really see it as like an album type of deal, but but there's some remnants of, you know, I've been changing and stuff like that, and he even has a video for one of the songs, Bryson, which is his first name, where, you know, the vibe of the video is like, you know, he's meditating and he's doing different things as far as like his energy and stuff like that, which is all I'm really saying. Like, you know, like, to me, like,
drinking wheatgrass.
Maybe.
You think he drank real good? He probably drank wheatgrass now.
Hey, he said, put them Travis Scott burgers down. That will never not be funny to me. I don't care. He called them Travis Scott burgers. That's what makes it so funny. The black man didn't even make the burgers. He still getting to eat them McDonald's burgers, man. But why they did Travis Scott like that, man? He dressed up as Batman and they clowned him, so he deleted his Instagram. Yes. Why they did Astroworld like that, man? Oh, that's terrible. I just thought about that. Sorry, but no, good project from NLE. Like I said, I'm really, if he's really trying to and I'm not saying this skeptically, because I do believe he is. I do believe, like I said, in his mind, and like I said, at the end of the day, no one wants to live a life looking over your shoulder, looking out for, you know, in fear of people wanting to kill you. Wanting to do harm to you. You want to just live a life of peace, and you know, it seems that he's moving in this direction with his music and his mentality. The interviews that I've seen of him recently, his demeanor seems to be different. It's a lot more, like I said, it's a lot more thoughtful, mindfulness of what he talks about. But, you know, like I said, man, it's for me, it's a pretty good body of work. So. I'm
gonna check it out.
Yeah, man. Aside from that, I don't really think there's anything else that I
you listen to? Mm-mm. I didn't really listen to anything. I mean, I've been moving this week, so yeah, I know you did. I kind of
yeah, it's
been hectic.
Tough go for you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired, man.
No, I feel you. Shit, man. So I guess we can get into the artist formerly known as 45.
45. Oh, man.
Yeah, man. So as of Sunday, it has been announced that Joe Budden. See, I fell for it. They got me. The memes got me, man. That social media training, man. Joe Biden is looking like he will be, in fact, the 46th president of the United States, and Kamala Harris will be the vice president. The first black woman in that position.
First black woman, first foreign.
Listen.
She's the first everything because she's Indian too.
First Indian, East Asian, all that stuff. All the inclusive verbiage you would like to include.
Yeah. You know they about to write out that list.
Yeah, man. What's her blood type? First O positive. But so yeah, it's looking like they will be taking over here in the next term. So first, what is your takeaway from what you've been seeing in the spaces, and how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Did you think it would happen? Did you think it would?
I had a feeling. I had a feeling when I found out about the early voting numbers. Because it was one of those things where it's like, they said we ain't never had this many early voters. And I'm like, well, because if you look at data, most people who vote every year are upper class white people. And that's not like me trying to be funny. Like, it's fact. It's upper class white people. So when they said the early vote, how many people they said early voted? Like 10 million? It was high.
It was a crazy number. Yeah.
It was a crazy how much? 100 million? Okay. So they say 100 million people voted early. That's not just upper class whites.
No, it's definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that said that's kind of That's when I kind of found out that I had a feeling he won, but I knew it was going to be a lot of stuff going around,
which
like,
there is.
And you know, it's one of those things where even when Obama won, they said that they messed up the count. You know, every time a Democrat wins, the Republicans do this. Like, that's why when they're doing it now, I'm just like, this is nothing new.
Yeah, man.
This is nothing we never heard before.
Yeah, I kind of like you. Like, when I think the thing that really, the mail-in ballots, I think also was a huge thing because.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you had one candidate telling his people to go to the polls and don't do the mail-in ballots, and a lot of other folks, who did opt to do mail-in ballots. So the way I looked at it initially was, I thought they were setting up the stage for like the bait and switch, because like everything that was being reported was that they kept showing all the states that Joe Biden won out the gate, and they weren't really reporting any of the ones that Trump had won. So for me, I was sitting there, I was a little bit like just on pause, because I'm like, oh, they doing the setup. They finna start showing the rally cry. And then, which the numbers did start getting a little bit closer.
They got real close.
At a certain point.
Even after he won, those numbers are close.
Yeah. So, there was a point where I really didn't know. Like, I was like, okay, I don't know. I was like, bro, I don't know who the fuck I won.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah, I was like, at this point, I don't know. Because in my brain, whichever way it went, I thought it would be a landslide. If it was gonna be
that was my prediction.
If it was gonna be Trump, it was gonna be a landslide. If it was gonna be Joe Biden, it was gonna be a landslide. But either way, the fact that it was so close, it really, honestly, even with the decision made, I really don't know, what that means for. I mean, I know what it means for our country, but I really don't think people have really thought about what that really entails. Because there's only so many politicians, there's tons of people that you have to interact and deal with on a daily basis, and their ideologies and their views. And it's like 50-50. You walking up to a person, you don't know where the fuck they stand on whatever. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, because everyone's politics is out in the open, some shit could get started off of that. I think the country's always kind of been like that, but there was like this almost like this unwritten rule, civil agreement. Hey, you keep your politics at home, I'll keep my politics at home, and we can coexist. But now that the cards are on the table, you might see MAGA shirts, or
oh, you're definitely
or you gonna see them Trump stickers, and you parking next to people, and all of a sudden you got tires being aired out, and this is where my brain be going. I just see stuff like this happen, like whereas like people are still gonna be showing their support of Trump regardless, and their disdain for the Democratic Party, and there's still gonna be this divide. And like I said, what are you gonna do when you park next to somebody with a Trump sticker and they getting out, you getting out, and you got a BLM shirt on, and you really got to do like these types of things are gonna be more so than you'll have to deal with like the elected officials and senators and governors and mayors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
Trump definitely changed politics.
Yeah, so
I will say that.
And it's just it's now it's like instead of hiding it, it's like, yo, this is where I'm at with it. This is what's up with it. So one of the biggest things that I think Trump ended up directly or indirectly doing, and you could look at this in different ways, is he's basically pulled the covers off the bed. So now it's like, for me, I'm a person where I want to know where my opposition stands. I don't mind being around people that I disagree with, because now I actually feel better, because I know it's like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. So like, I know what I got to deal with if I work with a person who has that type of thinking, as opposed to not being sure or being led astray, or I would have voted for Barack a third time if I had the chance. And they be the main ones who be.
I hate people like that.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then if you decided you want to be Republican, oh, you nigger, you. so it got to be careful with stuff like that, because you don't really know. So, but going back to how I felt. So, once I kind of got the confirmation, or more or less the confirmation, that Joe Biden would in fact be the president of the United States, I just sat there, man, because I'm really thinking about the work that still needs to be done.
It's a lot.
And I'm seeing people that are celebrating, and I'm not trying to piss on nobody's parade, because I get it, I understand it. You're happy that a certain individual is out of office, and that is a first step if you're looking to try to change things. So that is a first step, But there's a part of me that's just like, we far from done, man.
I think shit's about to get.
That's
real.
What I'm saying. Like we far from done. And there's a lot of things. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Look, because you gotta think about it still. I'm not trying to sit here and dive deep into it, but the Senate is still ran by Republicans. They're not gonna make it easy, because the difference between Trump and Joe is that Trump was super pro economy. You know what I'm saying? And that's like a thing that's big right now, because you got people who losing jobs, you got the coronavirus, it's a lot that's about to go into this. And that's the thing. Like, it's great to see it, but those first couple months are gonna be wild. Right. It's gonna be a wild one.
I agree with that. And the thing is as well, is to me there's gonna be only a certain time period in my brain. Like, don't get so caught up blaming Trump for shit now that he's out of office that we don't hold Biden's feet to the fire. Yeah. And regardless of how the seat was left when he got there, he's in it now. And people instilled their vote in him at what a lot of people have deemed as the most important election in our history. So if that,
why did they deem it?
I'll just tell you what the people say. I don't know why they deemed it that.
I never knew why they did.
But I'm just telling you what the people said. But if that's how they feel, then you've taken on that responsibility of doing right. And especially when you make a comment about how that the black vote essentially got you to the seat that you're in.
Yeah.
And we've always had your back, so you'll have ours.
Yeah.
Whoever had the Twitter needs to pin that tweet and go back to it and look at it and make sure that is actually taking place. Because one of the things that I think when people feel good about something is they let their foot off the gas, and they don't look. I look at, and we have to really start looking at politicians the way we would look at a principal running a school for your kids. And if you see that kids' grades is all sloppy and shit ain't going right in the school, you're not gonna say, oh, this is his first year, he's trying to just get stuff together. Like, your family's future's hangs on that. So there can't be this. We have to basically, it's an accountability thing. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Just still remember that these dudes ain't your friends. Joe Biden can't even play basketball, so that's out the window. Barack let you listen. Barack, I just saw the video the other day of Barack.
He ran out to the victory speech. He ran.
I know.
But you saw that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
But that's not enough. Barack was shooting corner threes, and Barack lived off that for a while. One thing I always kind of thought about is like it must have sucked playing against Barack in basketball, like as the president, and you can't foul him, you can't do nothing. Like imagine like trying to Barack going to the lane for a layup, and you are the one that hard fouls him, and then all of a sudden you start looking over at Secret Service, and they like,
Could you like imagine that? Like you were playing a pickup game, and then Barack showed up. Yeah. He's like, "Yo, what we playing? Who got next?
Y'all got y'all 5?"
That would be some crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
Would you, if you play 1-on-1 with Barack, you going all in?
You can't let Barack win, man.
I'm sorry, I'm beating his ass.
Listen, man, listen. You can't. I know he probably still got Secret Service, but I don't care. Like, I'm not finna. I'm not letting you do that to me. But so yeah, man. Excuse me. Yeah. So I'm still in a space of now we have to continue to do more. We have to continue to be. I really wish, and I hope, and I hate to be that guy, but the same fervor that a lot of our people had for getting out and voting, we would channel that same fervor towards, doing our own work and trying to build our own communities up and helping our own businesses and our own people, because at the end of the day, a lot of people did say lesser of two evils. So, I mean,
I did hear that a lot.
So, I mean, if that's the energy that we having, so why are we celebrating the lesser evil? That's all I'm saying. That's a good point. I didn't make the phrase up, but they did.
I feel like people are just really cheering because of Kamala.
I respect it. I get it. And that is this is another moment in history that I think a lot of people didn't think they would see.
Yeah.
So, I never imagined seeing a black president in my lifetime. So for there to be a black VP, it's a historic historic moment for black women and black people. So I don't want to diminish that or minimize that at all. I just really want us to remember that there's still work to be done. That's all.
Yeah, I think things gonna be an interesting 4 years. Mainly, but I hope one thing I do hope comes out of this is that people can stop looking at each other as like enemies because they don't believe the same thing. I think that's something that's really wrong with.
That's gotta change. That's gotta change.
And that's not even just with politics. It seems like that's just everything, period. It seems like the moment someone disagrees with somebody, all of a sudden must be the most evil person on earth.
That's gotta change. And it's like the other thing too is like if I endorse someone's policy or if I endorse something that somebody is trying to implement, I'm not doing a character analysis. Like there are no saints. Like if I have to, if I can only align with people who are like squeaky clean choir boys, then there wouldn't be any politics. There wouldn't be any politicians. And, and like I said a couple weeks ago, it's not about, we have to remove this emotional connection that we have to politicians. I'm not saying you can't like them, but liking them or not liking them shouldn't have anything to do with the way in which they do their job. That's all you need to be looking at is how they do their job, regardless of how you feel about them as a person. And sometimes when someone is making some sense because of who is saying it, people will automatically be turned off because they don't like that person.
Yeah. And
to me, that's like it's too childish of a way of thinking. We have to if we want to have change, we're going to get into some uncomfortable situations and working with people. I mean, if you look, again, going back to the stimulus situation, and there's going to be other situations that arise from that as well, where there is a bipartisan agreement, basically two parties that are working together. You think they like each other? No, but in the best interest of the people, they're working together. So what I think Joe Biden's greatest hurdle is going to be reuniting the American people.
Yeah,
because
that's gonna be a task.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it don't matter who's in office. If there's a divide amongst the people, that's not gonna. We're gonna constantly be in a cycle where there's just, left and right, and we're too complex of a nation to only have two sides of.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Which is another conversation for another day about parties and shit. But, all right, we'll move on from that. So, again, we'll be looking out and paying attention to what happens in the next coming days, weeks, months, years, so on and so forth. So, have you watched anything? No.
Yeah. Have you?
It's fine.
Oh, well, I told you about the Son of Zeus, but you already finished that, right?
Yeah, the Blood of Zeus. Yeah, I did.
Blood of Zeus.
Yeah,
Blood of
I know.
Zeus.
You keep saying something. It's cool.
I know.
So yeah, I watched Blood of Zeus on Netflix. It's a pretty good show. Basically, there's a well, it is a son of Zeus. I see why you would say that, but it's a young man who comes through the story, just comes to find out that his father's actually Zeus, and there's these giants that have been killed, but there's someone who ended up being affected by them, and they're trying to basically destroy the gods and all that other shit. So the art style is pretty decent. They're the same individuals who worked on like Castlevania. For those of you who watched the Castlevania Netflix show, 8 episodes, about 30 minutes a piece. So it's like I said, not a long body of work. It doesn't really. Well, no, actually, no. It did kind of lend. The ending did kind of indicate that there could be a second season. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like your typical storyline.
Is it a typical anime? Because when I read reviews, they kept saying, "Oh man, it's the best American anime ever."
I mean,
might have been too far.
I don't know about all that. It's not bad, man. It's cool. It's like I said, it's a decent story. I mean, you get nothing is really that surprising. I mean, you kind of find out, of course, the villain and the main villain and the main protagonist and the main antagonist, they're actually related, of course, because half brothers. So
I didn't know that. Thanks.
Oh,
So I didn't know that. I didn't even know you had a half brother.
Oh, the streets talk. If you've seen Greek mythology, Zeus got around.
Yeah, I know, but that ain't the
point. Sorry, man. But yeah, man, it's not bad. I'm still. So yeah, I am finished with that. I am about halfway finished with season 3 of Dark. And what's old girl say from Ozark? I don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah. Hey man, get that YouTube.
Yeah, I am. I dead ass be watching I'll be watching the shows, and I'll be like, as I'm watching the show, the episode, I'm looking at like the episode recap, because I be getting like, I'm like, yo, who is this? And so yeah, man,
it's a confusing show, man.
Listen, man, I apologize to Christopher Nolan. I thought Tenet is confusing, but I got it.
Dark.
I eventually got it.
Dark got to let go.
So, yeah, man. So we talked off mic. When do you have to leave your? And all right, let me set this up differently. So they're the show that comes out. Your girl says, "Hey, let's start watching this show." You say, "Okay, great. When do you want to start watching it?" "Oh, we can start watching it next week." Next week comes, not watching it. The week after that comes, not watching it. 3 weeks come by, not watching it. She's been busy, you've been busy, whatever, Or mainly she's been busy, not you. She's been busy. You've been available to watch it. She's been busy. When do you have to? Yeah. When do you have to just say, "Hey, man, I'll let you know how it turned out"?
Episode 5. Episode 5. If you go 5, that's a month.
So okay,
That's fair game.
okay.
If you don't come back by episode 5, I'm leaving you.
Leave me in the dust.
I'm going. What about you?
And
then it also depends if I constantly ask you, so that way I have a track record. I have a backlog. I have a log saying, no, I asked you on this day, and you said, I want to go to the club. I don't want to do this. Let's go somewhere else.
I give you, that's where I'm at. So I give 3 to 5 like reminder notices. It's almost like a utility bill. Hey, your bill's due. Bill's past due. Final notice. And then I cut the lights off. And then I cut the lights off. You're done. And then you try to call in and say, "Hey, why are my lights off?" Like, no, I warned you. I gave you. I gave you notice, woman. So now you gotta pay that $250 fee to get the lights reinstalled.
Yep.
So yeah, man, that's and ladies, why do y'all take so long to try to start watching the show? We want to watch it like when we say we're interested in the show, we're kind of ready to watch it like then.
Yeah, right there.
You know, but we'll give you to, hey, let's start it on Monday. All right, bet. That's
if it's a Friday.
Yeah.
If it's a Sunday. It has to be Sunday. Then you can say let's start it on Monday.
Yeah, but like this whole thing of like then when you watch the show, it's like, oh, you barbarian. You could have like yo, like what time did you have to watch the show? We could have watched it. No, we couldn't have, because remember you went out. Remember that? You said that.
You said that. You said, "Hey, I'm going out," and I said, well, "I think you should. Let's get this episode out the way."
If your girl watched the show without you,
do I get mad?
Would you be upset?
Nope.
Isn't that great? You see, man. You see, we don't even like we may have a little bit of a tiff, but we're not like.
I'm gonna be. You know what makes me angry?
Here we go.
If I say, "Hey, let's watch this movie," and she falls asleep. Oh my God. You want to see me get angry?
Hold on. Back up. So, did she want to watch the movie?
No. But no. But don't agree to it. No. You cannot agree to it. If you have multiple TVs, you can say, "Babe, I'm not interested," and I'll say,
"Listen,
okay."
The reason I'm caping is because
you fall asleep.
Yeah. Hey, and then I wake up. All right, babe, let's go to bed.
I'll be mad.
No, man, I can't. Yeah.
I say let's watch. If it's you know what makes me even more angry if they initiate the movie night.
All right. That's
See, if you initiate the movie night, and then I say, okay, fine, we don't have to do it, and then you're like, no, let's do it, and then you fall asleep. Oh no, I get mad.
All right. So the circumstance where I would be angry is if I had to watch a movie that I didn't want to watch, but they wanted to watch it, and then so like if my girl, if she was like, yo, let's watch this movie, and it's probably some romantic gibberish that I don't really care for, because romantic movies are corny to me, but like, you know, your girl wants to watch it, all right, fine, I let it cook, and she falls asleep, I would be like, all right, that's not.
But don't you think it could be solved with a simple, I don't want to watch this? Because I don't want to have to read your expression for me to say, she doesn't want to watch it. No, just say, I think we've been in the same bed. You can straight up just be like, yo, I don't want to watch this. And I'll just say, fine, go watch something else then. You got multiple TVs. You got options.
Yeah,
but
they want to be. The thing about, it's like food. When y'all order a different thing, but she sees that you're enjoying your meal, she'll feel a way. And then
get her fork.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey there, man, what you watching there?" Like, no, get your ass out. No.
Yeah, like I hate that.
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, that's always like a thing. What do you do when? What do you do to get your girl to you get your girl to watch a movie with you, and like the movie's trash? And she don't want. She's trying to get, basically in so many words, because she didn't want to watch the movie to begin with, and then she's looking at you like, "This your boy." This your man. This your king.
You gotta pull out the Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Yeah,
you gotta be like, yo, this shit got 90%.
And I'll be like, well, the trailers, it didn't even look. See, I think they had to reshoot and stuff like that.
Oh, wait, you mean like this is both of your first times watching it? Oh, but see, if it's both of her, I'll be like, yo, this shit trash. Let's turn it. You gotta be honest with yourself.
Yeah, man.
But if you've seen it, but you know what?
But sometimes it's like a movie that, like, let's say a movie like that you really want, like it may have an actor that you really fuck with or something, like a movie that you really wanted to see, and it's like, damn, that shit suck. And you have to come to terms with that.
What about a movie that you know is good, but they don't think it's good, but you in your heart, you know?
So you know my favorite movie is Training Day, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie more than any other movie combined, probably. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to go into detail of how I feel about the movie. My girl told me she was under so much pressure watching that movie because there were certain, like, some of my favorite.
You were looking at
I'm like this here. You better, what you think?
You better enjoy.
You don't see the Oscar worthy of. Yeah. And then I was at the end of the movie. She was just like, it was good. Almost like she didn't really want to tell me. Like she was. I mean, obviously, I could tell it didn't resonate with her the same way it did with me, but it was a funny experience because like the what scene was it? The scene where the Snoop Dogg scene. That's one of the ones where I'm looking at her. Because I quote like most of those lines just like in everyday life. Like he's like, when he basically, because he swallowed the drugs and he gets the drug, he puts a pencil in his mouth. He like, ooh, what's that? That's crack, motherfucker. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. You fella fuck now. And it's like, that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. And of course, the King Kong monologue is one. I have just a bunch of different scenes, and there's a bunch of different reasons that. And I have a group chat with my homeboys, and they'll tell you like I can probably do like a scene by scene. Like it's almost sad how many, not sad, but it's almost like crazy. Like when people say they've seen a movie 100 times and they exaggerate, I've probably seen that movie 100 times. Oh, wow. Like dead ass.
Okay.
It's I just, and to me, it's not even Denzel's. It's not even his best movie in my opinion, but it's just a great movie. It's just, Malcolm X is his best movie, but I'm not watching that shit 100 times. That shit's long. But
I got a question.
What's up?
When your girl get mad at you, what's your go-to line?
Silence.
You ain't got a go-to line?
When your girl is all right, so when
you know she's mad at you, you don't just have something.
So our situation is a little different, like because we're long distance. So we tend to make sure that whatever disagreement we got, we kind of hash it out.
You nip that shit in the bud.
We try to hash it out because we don't like to go to sleep or nothing like that. But there's times, there were the time, I'm kind of I was going through some stuff that day. There's a lot that was going on, and we went to a restaurant, and I kind of snapped at her at the restaurant, like verbally snapped at her in the restaurant. So she didn't say anything, and then so we went home and we took a nap, and I was trying to like show her like stuff that was like articles that was kind of funny, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that is funny." And then I was saying something, and she's like, "Before you start," I was like, "Yeah, I know." She's like, "Don't you ever?" And I was like, "Yeah." I felt bad about that. I did come at her kind of sideways at the restaurant, but no, typically, man, if we have a disagreement, we kind of hash it out. We had another time. I think I told you about this before. We went rock climbing, in the indoor rock climbing thing, and she was going up the side of the thing, and her anxiety was kind of kicking in a little bit, and I'm saying like, "Yo, keep going." She's like, "I can't, no." So like I'm telling her to keep going, and I'm yelling at her, and she's yelling at me, and then like we're in the car like yelling at each other, like arguing, and like so like maybe like an hour came by, and like she came in the room, and she had this face, man. Women are good, man. They had she had this face, and I was just like, all right, beef dead. beef dead, man. It'd be beef squash, man. And we talked about it. So we talked about it a little bit. So like the other thing that we'll do is we try to. One thing I like about her is like when we have conversations, we try to stay like very like level as far as like the volume and basically just talk to each other and communicate well and hash stuff out in a way that's not like once it's over with, so we're not carrying shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we tend to nip stuff in the bud pretty quickly. So I don't like for stuff to linger too long. I don't like stuff to fester and then
So you ain't gotta go too long.
Nah, man. Just sorry, man. You can give me some knowledge there, brother. What you hit her with?
What I do?
Man.
What I do? That's what I say.
Well, I mean, and you know what you did, probably.
You know what you did.
I don't see how that works because you know what you did.
It doesn't work. Yo, it's the easiest way to get it. You be like, what did I do? They be like, nothing. You didn't do anything. I was like, oh god.
But I will say this, man, and it's funny, but it kind of my girl hit me. It was not her go-to line, but we went to this restaurant and there was this thing I didn't want her to eat something. Something that happened again. Restaurants, we beef at restaurants for some reason, but so we got into it a little bit at the restaurant, and then we was talking about it, and she was like, "You was mad," like almost like in a way, like and she was like laughing. I was like, and when she laughed, I almost got mad again. I'm like, yo, like it's not a laughing matter, woman. I was not pleased with the events at the restaurant. You were there trying to chuckle your way out of it.
So chuckle like shit, cool.
Yeah, like but it was funny, man. But nah, we typically are, I don't have a go-to line most of the time, man. Like I said, I try to nip it in the bud because my thing with getting mad is, or when she gets mad, like it kind of hurts, man, because she's not like she's a different man. It's like a man like you hurt me, and it's like, oh, all right, okay, all right, yeah. So it's like and of course you don't want to hurt your lady, man. You don't want to hurt your woman. So it's something that I'll feel really bad. So I try to make sure that I do address it, and
I try to address things head on because I do think when you let things fester, it doesn't.
Because a couple of things happen from that. Because then they'd be like, they think you don't care, or which is another thing too. Like our dynamics are very, very different. She worries about everything, and I'm very much like a ender. Like me, I'm. It comes off as nonchalant, but I'm just very centered about things. Like I try not to get too like flustered about things. I try not to get too upset or too angry about stuff. I try, and she sees that, and sometimes it gets interpreted as like, oh, it's just everything's just easy breathing for you, huh? Everything's just everything's just so oh I'm going through it, and she's like a worried wart. She's like, she worries about like everything, and I'm not that way. So when she sees that I'm not that way, she's just like, nigga, what you so calm about? So it's an interesting dynamic that we have, but I think sometimes it rubs off on her because she sees that I'm chill about stuff, so it kind of gives her a little bit more comfort about things. But it's funny.
How when you want a good birthday gift, what you do? What's your code?
I'm gonna disappoint you again, man. I'm not.
You don't do. Oh, you don't do nothing fun.
I like to see. For me, I like to travel. So like, I would like to go somewhere as opposed to like getting gifts. So I would like to go somewhere. So I would, if anything, I would probably bring up a conversation because she's very like attentive to like the stuff I say. So if I wanted to like go somewhere, I would like keep saying that, like the almost like that mental conditioning. So I would keep saying like,
I think all women are attentive.
Vegas. She's like, oh yeah, I keep hearing Vegas, nigga. So I bought your Chicago tickets. I'm like, yo, you wasn't listening, woman. So nah, man. So that's probably, if anything, I would hint towards like wanting to go somewhere. And then I was like, Tennessee. Nah, but
I heard Nashville lit.
there are some places in Tennessee that I do want to go to.
I heard Nashville is like white Atlanta.
White Atlanta.
That's what people call it, like white Atlanta. But man, that's what. Jesus. Okay, so if your girl give you a bad gift, what do you do?
I take it.
You take it?
I listen, man.
What if she give you like a knit sweater?
I like sweaters.
No, like a sweater she knitted. That's itchy.
Oh, I'll say it's itchy. I would tell her.
You would tell her?
Yeah.
Okay, now what if she give you a gift card to like fucking Victoria's Secret?
I would be confused. That's your gift. That's not for me.
But it's a gift that you don't want.
No, but I'm saying like, why would I would be.
I'm just trying to think of a gift that you wouldn't want. What's the worst gift you ever got?
I would regift it to her. Hey, look what I got you.
What's the worst gift you ever got?
The worst gift. Oh man. It wasn't actually wasn't from a girl. It was from like at our job we did like a Secret Santa thing, and it really pissed me off. Honestly, I'm still kind of mad about it, but I like Argyle socks. So are you familiar with like Argyle socks, like the dress socks?
Yeah.
And so on the Secret Santa thing, they tell you like, hey man, write down what you want. And I specifically wrote Argyle socks. You know what I get? Some white ass, thick ass, tube ass socks. And I said,
you got some too.
What the fuck is this? So in my brain, I'm like, yo, Google's out. You're married. Like, bro, you could ask your wife. You could ask, because, like, you could, hey, babe, what's Argyle socks? But no, I get, and I was just like, are you shitting me? And then, bro, they're not even expensive. Like, that's the thing. Like, me with gifts, I would rather, number one, it'd be something either inexpensive or something that like is utilitarian that I'll use. I don't like, I'm not really big on like people like spending a lot of money for like material things. That's just me personally. But, so that's why I keep it cheap. So, Argyle socks, you know what I'm saying? You can go to anywhere really. Go to Marshalls, go to Express, you go to, get some Argyle socks. Hey, you don't know what they are? Google them. Because
that's funny.
That was almost like, man, fuck this nigga socks, man. I get these niggas. That's what I'm saying.
He read socks and was like, all right.
He's like, who's Argyle? Oh, I have to go to there was this little there's a plaza called Argyle Plaza. Oh, maybe he wants socks from here. Like, you piece of shit.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't let that.
What job was that?
This was in Orlando. I was working at a credit union. And yeah, we had this Secret Santa thing. So basically, of course you get a name of somebody, and then you gotta you look at their list to see the things that they will want. So like I said, my list was very specific. My list was very so I just didn't grasp by like why. So
is it awkward when you go to Thanksgiving now? Because you're vegan. Do they look at you like, what we gonna serve?
Not really. Like,
do you announce your arrival?
Nah, sorry. So all right. So the past Thanksgiving, actually the last Thanksgiving, I was at someone else's house and they actually was doing vegan dishes. So they had options. And then like when I go home, like my mom, she knows that I'm vegan, and we don't really have family there. It's just my mom and my dad, but they're not together. So, I'll stay with my mom, and she'll make me some things that I like. So it kind of works out. Like I like greens. She makes greens without like the meat and all that type of stuff, and different things that she'll cook that I can have. So honestly, it's not super. It's not really that bad. Like not how it was. Like I did. It's funny. I did Christmas time last year. I went and hung out with my dad, and he took me to some restaurant. He was like, "Well, they got fries on the menu, boy. They got some fries, boy."
They got some fries.
I was like, "You, nah, man." So I feel like he be forgetting though. I feel like I be telling him shit like, hey man, this is a little seafood spot around the block. I'll be like in the yeah, he like his little spots in Florida and Jacksonville, man. He got his little go-to spots, but nah, man, it's you know, there's more. Even like the place that we went to get some food, they got like this smoked turkey thing that they gonna be serving or selling for Thanksgiving, and I might actually buy some.
For what?
For me, nigga. What you mean for what? Fam?
Smoked turkey?
Yeah, it's like
a smoked
it's
turkey?
not turkey. It's like it's vegan. Like
It's a vegan turkey?
how the fuck they do it? It's just like it's.
That sounds weird.
Well, everything else sounded weird too, and then you like the food, didn't you?
You're right.
So
I agree
so
with that.
yeah, so
I agree.
you know I do want to try that because like I said, I based off of the food that they have there, like I know it's good. So, but yeah, man, like it's you know I don't really have no issues with it. Not I don't say issues, but nah, man, my family is you know. That's not the craziest thing that happens in the household. Like, oh, it's more like different news that comes up more so than like me not eating meat. So yeah. So they manage with that. So it's not a big deal. So shit. What happened in sports? Oh, so yeah, we Falcons won. 10-6 get you in, baby. 10-6 get you in the hunt, possibly the wild card.
Man, we're not going.
Oh, you know, hey man, optimistic, man, optimistic.
I appreciate that.
You know, it's always good to end the season on a high note. Imagine winning like
we did that.
Imagine winning like 11 straight.
It did not make it a playoffs.
Yeah, because that's a high note. Like, hey man, we really got it going. We really, you know, we started off slow and we lost some games we shouldn't have lost, but you know,
yeah.
So. Yeah, man. Shit, man. Yeah. So like, I think that. Oh, I was gonna talk about the Mike Tomlin. He's passed Tony Dungy as like the most wins. He has like 140 wins as a NFL coach.
Oh, really?
And he hasn't had a losing season ever in his career.
That's crazy.
Do you think it's time to start putting him in the tier? How many? He has what? 2 rings? 1 ring as a two rings. At the time, and he should have won Coach of the Year last year. I don't care what nobody say. 8-5 without
that turnaround he did was
without
crazy.
Roethlisberger. Do you think he gets enough respect put on his name?
No.
I hate to do this. Do you think he's a black coach?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's any way around it. Tony Dungy got his respect, but he didn't get his respect till he retired. You know, like even though he took the Colts to the Super Bowl, even Lovie Smith. You don't hear about that dude no more. You know what I'm saying? But you still hear Mike Ditka. Not saying Mike Ditka was bad. I'm just throwing a name out there. Yeah, you know, you hear about all these other legendary coaches, but you really don't hear about African American legendary coaches. But you can hear about African American players all day.
Well, forget African American, just coaches. Like even just like as a coach, just period. Like even in the past what decade, there's Belichick, and there's probably him. I may be missing somebody, but you can Andy Reid maybe, but
yeah, now.
So you know now he's finally kind of crossed over and won, but you know, but even like Andy Reid obviously being an offensive genius, but not having won a championship, he's always kind of been heralded as this offensive guru, this offensive genius.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's a Mike Tomlin who has 2 rings and doesn't really get the same type of respect and accolades, and even how he carries, even like just the way he carries himself and the way he carries his team. You know, I liked what he did with the excuse me, and I know there's different opinions, but when that whole thing with the Myles Garrett thing last year that came out, I feel like Mike Tomlin would have got to the bottom of that if that actually, you know, and it's in the past now, but I honestly feel like Mike Tomlin, if in fact his guy would have if it would have been confirmed that his guy did in fact say that, Mike Tomlin would have handled that. Would have definitely made sure that, and the thing about me is in that situation was like, yo, there's, he said like, oh, I have relationships with those coaches and some of those players on that team. Yeah. If it was a situation and they come to me, I would have, gotten to the bottom of it. But, just in the midst of the chaos with Antonio Brown and how that thing fell out with him leaving the Steelers, and pretty much most adversity that he's had to deal with as a coach, he's handled himself and he's had success. So, I wonder what I mean, I guess you alluded to it, his race. I do think that is a piece of it, but
I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but
well, no, I'm saying as a factor, but as Mike Tomlin, to me, he's almost one of the most I don't want to. How do I say this? He's not like a super like I don't want to say social justice is not a good word, but he's just kind of like he focuses on coaching. He focuses on like just doing his job. Like I'm sure he cares about matters that are going on outside of football, but even like that, he's not like a big like vocal person as far as like injustices that have been going on in the country and stuff like that. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because I think that kind of lends to his mindset of like, not that he doesn't care about those things, and I'm pretty sure that in his own community, in his own life, he's kind of doing that stuff without beating his chest about it. But his demeanor to me is just, I think there's a lot of men and players that can really learn from a person like Mike Tomlin, and just even as a, and I don't know if he even feels underappreciated. I feel like he don't care. Maybe he don't care about that. Maybe he's like, yo, I'm doing a job, and until I retire or until I do something else, this is gonna be my job, and I'm just gonna be the best. And like just his demeanor, man. I just wonder. I mean, I kind of know why they're not other black coaches in totality, but black coach period, however you want to package it, why he's not considered one of the greatest coaches in the league in the manner that I think he should be. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Yeah, but also the Steelers organization really doesn't get a lot of respect either. So that's something else I do think plays a role. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just something.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's just something that I just always thought about and always just kind of wondered. That was mainly it. What else is going on in sports? I think they have an agreement to start the NBA season before Christmas.
I saw that.
Seems like
that's a pretty bad idea.
Pardon me. Why you say that?
I don't know.
Too short of a turnaround.
Yeah, it's too short. Too short a turnaround.
I'm gonna be honest with you, boss. They got to recoup some of that money, Doc.
Of course.
Recoup some of that money, Doc. But I mean, honestly, it is and it isn't, because you got to remember when the bubble started, every team didn't play, so there was half of the league didn't play.
That's true.
So, it was only a partial amount of players and teams that were even playing once the season resumed anyway. So as a whole, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think for what I understand, they are doing a 72-game season as opposed to 82. So I don't know. I think at some point, I think December is a pretty good time, especially if you're thinking about most of those games start getting aired more after the new year, and of course after the Super Bowl and stuff like that.
After football season.
Yeah, so those games are going to be getting aired and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a quick turnaround, but in reality, it could be a disadvantage to the teams that are in the playoffs.
That's what I
Okay,
mean.
I got it.
I feel like it's unfair.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I feel like you just give them the rest of the year off. Start your season off normally. But that's mine.
That's a tough sell though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot more money. You still got to pay arenas. You got staff who live off of it. It's a lot. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I got all the answers.
No, I'm not saying. No, I got you.
Yeah, it's just I do think it is unfair. It is an unfair disadvantage, especially for those teams that were in the bubble for the longest. But
do you think that in the event that they do restart the season, do you think they're going to have a situation where what if they have like an East Coast and a West Coast bubble, or certain situations like where limited capacity of stadiums or arenas and stuff like that?
I don't think they're going to do a bubble again.
You think they're done with that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, football's doing it. They letting fans in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a bubble. I just think they're gonna have the players under really strict regulations. They put Baker Mayfield on the COVID list today.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that.
I think that's what they're gonna end up doing. I'm not expecting another bubble though.
Yeah, I honestly, I think I can agree with that because I do think that, like you said, the NFL has kind of laid out a blueprint of how they've been handling players who've contracted COVID, and it's still a challenge. Like I said, it's still a challenge as far as like the fan situation. How they're gonna go about the limited seating, the arenas, and obviously that would include staff working the arenas, working those tickets or working the concessions or however they're gonna do that, because Lord knows how they're even gonna do that. But yeah, man, I guess we'll wait and see, man. I guess we'll wait and see for sure. Anything else you got? Yeah, me neither. All right, episode 34 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for listening. And if you check out the description, we will have timestamps in the description for you to check out a particular topic. We'll also have a link for our social media to connect with us on all platforms and DSPs. And as always, we do appreciate you guys listening and checking in. Be safe this week, and the Pushers will be back next week with another episode.